Good evening. See, you're learning constructors. Constructors not completed. What is constructor? See, a constructor is a special method which has same name as the class name and which has no return type. No return type. Okay. Next, when constructor is called? When our object is created, it is called automatically. Okay, automatically whenever an object is created. If you create object, then only called. Okay. Next, how many types of, what is the purpose of constructor? Constructors are used to initialize. Used to initialize instance variables. How many types of constructors? Two types. Okay. There are two types of constructors. Two types of constructors. First one, default constructor. Default constructor means without arguments. Second one, parameterized constructor with arguments. Okay. One more point I given. Java compiler. If the class does not contain any other constructor, then Java compiler implicitly provides one default constructor. Okay. Say implicitly provides default constructor. Now see, if the class does not contain any other constructor, then only Java compiler implicitly provides default constructor. Here only 2 points I would explain, this point and this point. Okay. Now whatever you studied yesterday, file open. See, see, this is default constructor or parameter constructor? This is parameter constructor. Okay. Now, if I write new demo, which constructor called? Default constructor. If I write like this, which constructor called? Parameter constructor. This is called constructor overloading. Now, this is you studied. Okay. Now, my question is, if I write like this, or like this, now, this line is valid or not valid? Valid or not valid? Valid. Everyone knows. Okay. Suppose if I write like this, is it valid or not valid? Now, why this line is not valid? What is it? There is no parametered constructor. Okay. See, if I write like this, error. It is error because there is no parametered constructor. File, save. If I compile and run, see. If I run, error comes. If I compile, then only error comes. See. See Java, see demo.java. See, constructor demo in class demo cannot be applied to given types. Required is no arguments, found integer. Actual and formal arguments list differ in length. What is that? I'll explain. See, in this line, you are getting error. Okay. There is no parametered constructor. Now I am passing parameter. That's what error coming. But if I write like this, this will compile. This will compile. File, save. It will compile. See, it will compile. But there is no default constructor also, no? That is this point, last point. If the class does not contain any other constructor, then only Java compiler implicitly provides one default constructor. I given this point. This point I have to explain. Say here, if I write like this, actually which constructor is going to call in this line? Default constructor. Default constructor implicitly comes. Implicitly comes. That's what it is valid. Suppose if I write like this statement calls parameter consider, but parameter consider not there. Java compiler also it will not provide. It's an error. Suppose if I write like this now, if I write like this, is it valid? Yes. Myself I return constructor. This is when this statement is going to call this constructor. It is valid. Now if I remove this 2, this 10, now it calls default constructor. Is there any default constructor? No. In this situation, Java compiler also it will not provide. That is the point. So if the class does not contain any other constructor, then only provides. But already one constructor is there in my program. So already constructor is there. It will not provide. So this line now error. Let us see 4 combinations. 4 combinations. Note down. This first one. 4 combinations I'll show you. First one. Note down. If you write like this, it is valid. If you write like this, demo default constructor, it is implicitly comes. That's not valid. See, in this line, object created, default constructor called, but default constructor I didn't write. Java compiler implicitly provides. Got it, man? So when this line is executed, object created. Whenever object is created, constructor is called. Here I am not passing any parameter. So default constructor called. But default constructor also not there. Java compiler provides. That's what it is valid. This is valid. This is valid. Is it over? This is first one, first combination. Now second combination I'll give. Now if I write like this, is it valid? No, not valid. But in this case also, here what will be there implicitly? Again default constructor only implicitly present. Now it's an error because there is no parameter constructor. Okay, write this one. It is second one, implicitly. So in this case also default constructor only implicitly present. But this statement error comes. Over. So in first case, second case, first case also Java compiler implicitly provides default constructor. In second case also Java compiler implicitly provide default constructor. But first one is valid, second one is not valid. Reason I am calling here parameter constructor. Parameter constructor not there. Okay. Now, third one. Suppose myself I am writing like this. Now is it valid? Now it is not implicit. Explicitly myself I written. Okay. Now it is valid. Right, this one, third combination. It is valid. So this third one is valid. Now fourth one. Is it valid? Is it valid? Not valid. Actually here which constructor I am calling? Is there any default constructor? No. Will it Java compiler provides? Why it will not provide? Already one constructor is there. Okay. That's what it is not valid. Note down. So if the class does not contain any other constructor, then only default constructor implicitly comes. If the class does not contain any other constructor, then only Java compiler implicitly provides default constructor. Is it over? Now I'll ask questions. Give me answer now. Is it valid? Yes or no? Yes. But I didn't write any constructor. How it is valid? Implicitly this constructor comes. That's what valid. Now, if I write like this, is it valid? Not valid. Now, which constructor it is called actually this statement? Parameter constructor. Is there any parameter constructor? No. Is there any default constructor? Yes. Default constructor present. So, if I run this one, this is implicitly present. This is implicitly present, no? This is implicitly present. Implicitly present. Okay. Now I written like this. Now here how many argument it takes? 0. Here how many arguments I am passing? 10. Is it actual argument or formal argument? Actual. Here formal. Actual formal length is different. That error showing. See, if I run that error, understanding that error purpose, I am saying. See, if I compile. See what you are getting? Actual and formal argument lists differ in length. Actually, what is required? No arguments. What I passed? Integer. So actually here, no arguments required. But I passed one argument. That is error. So actual, one argument I passed. Formal, there is no argument. It is not matched. That's what error. But this type of constructor not there. If it is there, that is called. Okay. Suppose I'll write like this also. Now, is it valid? Yes, it is valid. Okay. Suppose, is it valid? Yes, because I written here, myself I written. Suppose I'll remove this now. Not valid. Okay. This point, is it clear now? See, how many types of constructors? Two types. What are those? Default constructor, parametered constructor. Default constructor means without arguments. Parameter constructor means which constructor implicitly comes? When it comes? When it comes also important. Only always default constructor will not come. When it comes also important. If there is no other constructor, then only comes. That you remember. Okay. Now, suppose in my program, demo integer a, demo integer a, integer b, demo boolean a, boolean b, demo float a, float b. Now, can I call constructor overloading? Yes or no? No. Now here, new demo 5.2f 2.4f. Is this line is valid? Yes, valid. Okay. Is this line is valid? No? Sure? Here, which constructor is going to call? Default constructor. Is there any default constructor? No. Will it Java compiler provides? No, it will not provide because already 4 constructors are there. Okay, it will not provide. So further in Java library also, if this type of constructors are there, for that class, this type object you cannot create. Then compulsory you have to pass parameters while creating object. If this type of constructors are there. Okay, that is, if the class does not contain any other constructor, then only provides. Then only this type of line is valid. Okay, these points remember, don't forget. Next, constructors are used to initialize instance variables. Now this point I'll explain now. I want to write one class name employee. You already studied variables. How many types of variables are there? 3 types. What are those? Local variable. When we have to use instance variable? Different value. When we have to use class variable? When we have to use local variable? To perform the task. Now, employee number. Which type of variable required? Instance variable. Name? Salary? Now, I'll take 2 variables. Integer, employee number. Okay. Now, employee number, I'm writing 101. Float, salary. I'm writing 5,000. Now, employee number, instance variable required. Now, that is instance variable, salary, instance variable required. Why we selected employee number as an instance variable? Why we selected as an instance variable? You can use class variable also, you can use local variable. Why we selected? For every employee, number will be different. That's what I selected employee number as an instance variable. Every employee's salary will be different. That is the reason I selected instance variable. Now, like this, I initialized. Like this, I initialized. Suppose I'm writing another class. In same class also you can write. 2 different class also you can write. Public static void main. String aux. Now, employee E1 equal to new employee. Okay. Next, employee E2, new employee. If I create 10 objects, how many copies of employee number salary created? 10 copies. Now I want to print. system dot out dot println e1 dot employee number. Okay, system dot out dot println e1 dot salary. Instead of writing like this salary also I want to write in this line only. Okay, if I write plus concatenation operator e1 dot salary, but if I write, what will happen? It is 101, it is 5000, it will print 5101. That will happen. Okay, now I want to give a space between, like this will write. If you write like this, what will happen? Employee number integer type, this slash is string type, integer plus string, it will become string, string plus again float, it will become string only. So what will happen? 101 printed slash t tab spaces comes and salary. Okay, like this we can print. Next employee number plus slash t plus e2 dot salary. I return. Now what will happen? See, if I compile and run, demo class loaded, open brace executed, main method called, open brace executed, object created, then memory allocated to instance variables, that object referred by e1, again object created, again memory allocated to instance variable, that object referred by e2, e1 data printed, e2 data printed, file, save. Now compilation, execution, salary f required, file, save. See, compilation, execution we are getting. Now it is called initialization. It is called initialization. Like this I initialized it. What is the problem with this one? You observe, are you getting different values? This is a problem comes. That's what you should not initialize like this. So actually, why we selected employee number as an instance variable? To get different values. Are you getting different value? No. That's what, this is wrong way to initialize. When we can initialize like this is, if your program contains only one object, this is the right way to initialize. More than one object is there, you will get a same output. Same output requirements will go for class variable. So that's what, this is not the right way to initialize instance variable. But how to initialize? Through constructor. Without constructor, this is a problem. So in the program only 101 5000 if I write, for all employee objects output 101 5000 only comes. So this is not the right way to initialize instance variable. This way of initialization suitable for only one object. If your program contains more than one object, this way not suitable. Okay. Now first heading, write it. Instance variables initialization without constructor. Write it. Instance variables initialization without constructor. Instance variables initialization. Instance variables initialization without constructor. Instance variables initialization without constructor. Example. Instance variables initialization without constructor. Example. Write this one. Instance variables initialization without constructor. It is called as an initialization. It is initialization only, but this is not the right way to initialize if it is like this. I'll give notes. Okay, first is it over? Not done. This way of initialization suitable for one object only. This way of initialization suitable for one object only. This way of initialization suitable for one object only. This way of initialization suitable for one object only. See, this way of initialization suitable for one object only. Suppose your program contains only one object, then it is okay. Suppose your program contains only one object. This way of initialization, okay. But 2-3 objects are there. This is not the right way. If you write output is, this output comes. So write output also. Output. So like this, if you initialize, you'll get a same output. So actually we selected instance variable to get different values, but we are not getting. Okay. Now with the constructor, how to do, I'll show you. First is it over? See, demo class loaded, open brace executed, main method called, open brace executed, object created, memory located, again object created, again memory located, because 2 copies created, 2 copies I'm printing. So you are getting same values. So this way of initialization not suitable for this type of programming, because 2 objects are there. When it is okay, only one object. Okay. But how to initialize? See, I'll remove this. Now, employee. What is this? It is a constructor. Is it default constructor or parameter constructor? Default constructor. Suppose int A, float B. Which type of constructor? Parameter constructor. These 2 variables, which type of variables? No. Instance variable or class variable or local variable? All selected. Instance selected, class selected, local selected. You studied these many days. Variables. You can identify now. Which variable? Which variable? Local variable. Method parameters and block variables are also called local variable. That point I given now. It's like a method parameter. Method parameters and local block variables are also called local variables. Okay. These are local variables. Local variables. Okay. Now, it is a local variable. It is a local variable. Local variable, how many ways to access? One way. That is directly. These 2, which type of variables? How many ways to access? 2 ways. What are those? Object reference. Can we access directly? No, we cannot access. Okay. Now, here I'll write employee number equal to A, salary equal to B. Are these 2 statements are valid or not valid? Think yourself and give answer. Valid? Think yourself and give answer. Don't depend on majority people answer. Okay? Whatever you know, think yourself and give me answer. These two statements are valid or not valid? No. No. These two, which type of variables? How many ways to access? One way, that is directly. Okay. Next, these two, which type of variable? How many ways to access? What are those? Now give me answer, valid or not valid. See, how many ways to access means all people give an answer. 2 ways, object, object reference. But is it valid or not valid means you are not giving answer. Yes. Here implicitly this keyword present. You studied, no? This keyword implicitly present in instance method, initialization block and constructor. It is constructor, no? Here this keyword implicitly present. This dot, that's what valid. It doesn't appears. Okay? You have to watch with compiler eyes. Okay? So it doesn't appears to you. But it is compiler will write. Compiler appears. Like that. Okay? So this keyword doesn't appears. Yeah, confusion will be there. Yes, total Java program is confusion only. Everyday confusion will be there. But in a confusion also I am giving clarity. Okay? If you listen with more confusion, concentration, you will get it. Okay? Now, here this keyword doesn't appear to you, but it is present. Because the point I given, this keyword implicitly present in instance variable, instance method, initialization block and constructor. So here this dot will be there. Valid. When we have to write this keyword explicitly? Whenever instance variable and local variable names are same. Okay? If local variable, instance variable names are same, then you have to access instance variable by using this keyword explicitly. Suppose this is also employee number. This is also salary. Then how to access? This dot employee number equal to employee number. This dot salary equal to salary. What do you mean? Here, these two which type of variable? These two which type of variable? These variables we can access directly. It is directly. But these two variable compulsory either object or object reference required. This is object reference. Well, you know, like this. Okay. Now, here, now it is parameter constructor. Now give me answer. This line is valid or not valid? No. This is the employee class. Okay. Now this line is valid or not valid? Why it is not valid? There is no default constructor. But will it Java compiler provides? No, it will not provide. Why it will not provide? Already parameter constructor is there. Okay. Now can I pass like this? 101 5000. Now can I pass here 102 6000? Yes. Now what will happen? See here, demo class loaded, main method called, object created. Whenever object created, then memory allocated to instance variable. At the same time, constructor also called. That means this complete code at a time executed. This memory allocated whenever object is created. This constructor is called automatically whenever an object is created. That means this total code at a time executed. That's what it is called initialization. For you, it appears like a declaration it appears like a assignment, but it is not declaration, it is not assignment, it is totally called initialization. It appears like a 2 lines, that is like a 1 line only. So here memory allocated, and this is also initialization done at the same time done. That is the reason it is called initialization. When these two variables memory allocated, whenever object is created, when this constructor is called, whenever object is created, that means this complete code at a time executed, no? That's what it is called initialization. So now first object created, here 101 5000 stored. Second object created, 102 6000 stored. Now if I print, you'll get a different values. See, compilation, execution. Now this is the right way to initialize. But this way of initialization, suppose your program contains only one object, it works. 2 objects works. 100 objects works. This is the right way to initialize. Okay. Now next, write it heading instance variables initialization with constructors. Instance variables initialization with constructor. Example. Instance variables initialization with constructor. Example. Note down, I'll explain. So this is the purpose of constructor. Constructors are used to initialize instance variables. Constructors are used to initialize instance variables. Is it over? See, not over. Constructor purpose is this one. Just note on this way of initialization. This way of initialization suitable for one object and many objects also. This way of initialization suitable for one object and many objects also. So one object also it works. More than one object also it works. Now see, suppose I'll remove this constructor. This constructor I'll remove. Now, this line is valid or not valid? Now, this line is valid or not valid? Not valid. Why it is not valid? There is no parametered constructor. Now, like this, if I write valid or not valid? Valid. But there is no default constructor, no? Implicitly Java compiler provides. That's what valid. Now, here I'm writing 101. Here I'm writing 5000. This is called initialization. This is called initialization. Okay. See, demo class loaded, open brace executed, main method called, open brace executed, object created, memory allocated to instance variable. Again object created, again memory allocated to instance variable. And when I print, you are getting same output. Say file, save, compilation, execution. You are getting same output. Okay. This is the problem comes. That's what we use constructor. That's what constructor. Constructor. If I write like this, it is default constructor. But initialization purpose, this is not suitable. Parameter required. Integer A, float B. I given like this. Integer A, float B. Which type of variables? Local variables. Employee number, salary, which type of variable? Now, if I write employee number equal to A, salary equal to B, are these statements are valid or not valid? Valid. But object or object reference required for calling employee number, salary? This keyword implicitly present. That's what valid. But this keyword, when we have to write explicitly, same name is there. Same name. Suppose this name also same, employee number. This name also salary. If you write like this, what will happen? Employee number equal to employee number. If you write, how it will understand? And it will understand this local variable only, again local variable. It is also local, it is also local. Like that it will understand. That is the reason to differentiate local variable, instance variable, this keyword explicitly required. Now, here, if I pass 101, this 101 copied in local variable copied in instance variable. Got it, man? So 101 comma 5000 I'm passing. Then what will happen? 101 5000 first to where it is copied? Local variable. These local variables where it is copied? Instance variables. Here copied. Now these two variables memory vanished. These two will be there. Again 102 6000. Now again it is copied in local variables. Again new instance variables created because every second object, every object separate copy, no? Now in that it is stored 101 5000, 102 6000. When I print, you are getting different values. compilation, execution. You are getting different values, no? So if you want to initialize instance variables, you must use constructor. Then only different values comes. Then only required output comes. Got it? Next point, next concept, blocks. Next heading, blocks. A group of statements between open brace and close brace is called as block. A group of statements between open brace and close brace is called as block. A group of statements between open brace and close brace is called as block. So just to open brace and close brace, if you write in between, if you write statements, that is called block. Say don't write now this one, program don't write. Suppose if I write like this, open brace, close brace, it is called block. Here one statement also you can write, many statements also you can write. Suppose I'm writing block 1. Now between open brace and close brace, if you write this type of statements, this is called block. Next point. A block is also called as an initialization block because block also can be used to initialize instance variable. A block is also called as an initialization block because block also can be used to initialize instance variables. So block also you can call it as initialization block. Why we are calling like that is you can initialize instance variables here. But if you initialize here, again you'll get the same values. Different values will not come because parameters are not there. But it is called initialization. See, a class can have any number of blocks and all those blocks are executed from top to bottom order whenever an object is created. See, whenever object is created, how many concepts are there you observe? Memory allocated, instance variable, blocks called, constructor called. While creating object only, these all will be done. A class can have any number of blocks and all those blocks are executed from top to bottom order whenever an object is created. A class can have any number of blocks and all those blocks are executed from top to bottom order whenever an object is created. Now, a class can have any number of blocks and all those blocks are executed from top to bottom order whenever an object is created. You observe here, open brace, close brace. In between, if you write statements, that is called block. Block we can also call initialization block. Why we are calling like that, I'll explain. Integer x if you write. Here x equal to 10 if you write. Okay. Now, this is which type of variable? Instance variable. Here x equal to 10 if I write, implicitly this dot. Because this keyword comes in initialization block also. 3 places. Instance method, Initialization block, constructor. Here also this keyword comes. So int x, here this dot x equal to 10, like that. When this is executed, whenever object is created. When this is executed, whenever object is created. That's what it is called, initialization. Okay, that's what this block is also called as, initialization block. Okay, actually like this not required, I'll explain. What I given, see, a class can have any number of blocks and all those blocks are executed from top to bottom order whenever an object is created. So you can write one more block also. Suppose system.out.println block 2. This is one block. This is one more block. When these blocks are executed, whenever object is created. If we create object, then only. See, file, save. I didn't create object. Compilation success, execution success, no output. Okay. Now I'll create object. I'll create object. Then blocks are executed. Now first this one, next this one, top to bottom. Top to bottom executed. File, save. Block 1, block 2. Now, if I write like this, what is this? Constructor. When constructor is executed? When constructor is executed? Whenever object is created. But block also executed whenever object is created. Constructor also executed whenever object is created. Now, before constructor only blocks executed. So blocks are executed before constructor only. If I run this program, output block 1, block 2, after that constructor. Now see, file, save. See, if I compile, if I run, but your doubt is, what is the use? Okay, I'll explain. Now just write this point. Write this point. Blocks are executed before constructor only. Blocks are executed before constructor only. So when memory allocated to instance variable? Whenever object is created. When constructor is called? Whenever object is created. When blocks are executed? Whenever object is created. These all done object creation time only. In these three, which one done first? First instance variable memory. Next blocks. Next constructor. Okay. Now first example note down. Example. What is the use? I'll explain. Is it over? When blocks are executed? When constructor is executed? But whatever you are writing in a block, that code you can write inside the constructor, no? Whatever you are writing in a block, that code you can write inside the constructor. That's what blocks are not in use. Okay, not in use. It is not required. It is only first program. It is only last program. So further blocks are not required. But why this program also is, sometimes in the written test, they may ask this type of question also. Then you may think here one line is missed, one line is missed, you'll think. Actually, there is no line. Like you may think it's like a method or constructor. Like that you'll think. But only open brace, close brace, that maybe it is one line is missed, you'll think. Either constructor or method should be present, like that you'll think. That is the reason on program I given. So this is also a concept is there, but not in use. Reason, whatever we are going to write here, that is write in a constructor. Okay. But static blocks, that is required. Next heading, static blocks. A block with static keyword is called as static block. A block with static keyword is called as static block. A static block is also called as static initialization block, because static block can be used to initialize static variables or class variables. A class can have any number of static blocks, and all those static blocks are executed from top to bottom order whenever class is loaded. Static blocks are executed before main method only. Same concepts, just static keyword. A block with static keyword is called as static block. So just if you attach static keyword, that is called static block. A static block is also called as static initialization block, because static block can be used to initialize static variables. A class can have any number of static blocks, and all those static blocks are executed from top to bottom order whenever class is loaded. Static blocks are executed before main method only. A block with static keyword is called as static block. So before block, if you write static keyword, that is called static block. Is it over? You already studied what is the execution priority? Class variables Static blocks, main method. That's what. Static blocks are executed before main method only. Now, if I write static keyword, that is static block. Say a block, just now you studied. Open brace, close brace is called block. With static keyword is called static block. That is for instance variable initialization you can use. It is class variable you can use. Actually, without static block also we can initialize. Okay. Now, what is the purpose of static block? I'll explain. Blocks are not in use, but static blocks are in use. I'll explain. Okay. A class can have any number of static blocks, and all those static blocks are executed from top to bottom order whenever class is loaded. For this one, no need to create object. It is automatically called. Object also not required. Okay. See, just one static keyword if attached. This is called static block. This is called static block. Here, some output I'll write static block 1. Okay. Now I'll remove constructor. I'll remove object also. Suppose here also one static keyword I'll attach. Static block 2. Now here also one message. System.out.println main method. Now if I run this program, first demo class loaded, open brace executed. You studied execution priority. First class variables. Any class variables are there? No. Next, static blocks. Top to bottom order. This one first printed. Next, this one printed. After this, main method. See, file, save. Compilation, execution. Static block 1, static block 2, main method. But where we use static block, I'll give note down for this note down example. So if any doubts are there, you can mail to my mail ID. I'll give a replay because this is online class and offline class. Both are going parallelly, online and offline. Okay. I'm giving a replay for every 3-4 days. I'm giving a replay. Yesterday night, I given replay to all students. 100 mails also I give replay. If any doubts are there, you can mail to my mail ID. Every 3-4 days, I'll give a replay. Any doubt, you can mail to my mail ID. Because this is online and offline class, not one-to-one class also. See, online students 100, offline students 100, 200 students. Is it over? So demo class loaded, static block, this static block, after that main method. Demo class loaded, this static block, after that main method. Now, actually, before performing any task, some libraries required. That in further sessions after exception handling topic. Before performing any task, we require some libraries. The libraries you can load with static block. First library loaded. After that, task performed. But whatever you are writing in static block, that is you can write in main method also. No? That is you can write in main method also. But in further, main method will not be there. In advanced Java Solid topic onwards, no main method. In that situation, we use static block. So public main method, this program is going to run under operating system. That's what main method required. But later, advanced Java Solids onwards, main method will not be there. In that situation, if you want to load the libraries, we use static block. Present not required, but further required. If you want to load libraries, we can use static block. Just note on. Note. Static blocks are used to load libraries. Static blocks are used to load libraries. Say, for loading library purpose, we use what is this? What is this? Class variable. Okay. What is this? Instance method. What is this? Class method. What is this? Constructor, default constructor. What is this? What is this? Block. What is this? These all you studied. Okay. Non-static, static. Non-static, static. Here, non-static, static. A default constructor, parameter constructor. But static keyword you cannot apply for constructor. Okay, you cannot apply. So these all inside the class you studied. Okay. Tomorrow we'll see continuation. Tomorrow we'll see continuation. If any doubts are there, you can mail to my mail ID. This is my mail ID. If any doubts are there, you can mail to my mail ID. I'll give a reply. Every student I'll give a reply. But reply don't expect very quickly. It will take 4-5 days. Because on morning to evening 5 class I'm taking. Okay, but you'll get a reply. You'll get a reply. Notes already shared in Google Classroom. You can check it out. Notes already shared. Up to today class, notes is shared. So if any doubts are there, you can mail to my mail ID. I'll give a reply. Okay, we'll see continuation tomorrow.